Good afternoon, Coach. Nice to see you. But I can imagine that you are disappointed after the game against Hungary. But tell me something more about your feelings. Are you maybe sad or maybe angry after this game?
I think disappointing, of course, because I have always the best expectations in our team, in our players, to get the best result. Of course, what I'm always looking for is the best performance of our players, and the best results is winning. Sometimes we need to be always balanced in our feelings. I understand football, especially on the critics' sides. You have the win and the loss, and from that. The feelings coming, but we need to know how to get the right balance all the time. And I think this time mostly it's disappointing, because we have it in mind to win the match. We have it in mind, to be in the place for the playoffs who could guarantee us to play home. We have it in mind to all the time, to don't beat, to be beaten at home, because it's something we want to keep it the longer as possible. And also we have it in mind, to like we spoke before the match, after the match, about the importance of develop players in the leadership, in the responsibilities. To achieve important results like it was against Hungary.
Okay, Coach. Well, a lot of people in Poland, including me, cannot understand your decisions. I mean, why did you resign from Glik, Lewandowski and Zieliński in such an important game?
Like I said, my idea from the beginning, getting the result and the goal, achieving the goal to get to be in playoffs, it's to keeping preparing our national team for the near future. If you remember from the beginning, we're looking to introduce young players already to experience the international level for what it comes in the future. Of course, I need to realize, and in these days, all the noise yet been from Poland with all the reasons, because our expectations, they was also different than what he handed after the game against Hungary. But and I need to realize also myself, and I realize myself after these days. My job it's a short term. My contract is a short term. For that, I need to be much more focused on the present than what it will be the near future. Of course, I always looking to help and to educate and to to do one part really important, because it's something I experienced already after playing football in the national team, the importance of the transitions of generations. And this I started to do it from the beginning. And I thought, and we spoke also between me and you also, and with other journalists, for me it was the key game, to develop players, to make a step forward and to don't be behind the absence of important players like Krychowiak, who it's always discussed for the media, but it's an important player for the balance he gives and the personality and character he gives to the team. Like Glik as well, with a yellow card, he could be out of the first game of the playoffs, and we understand this game. He could give these things, because Hungary, it's a team who doing really good transitions, good counterattacks. For that, we expose a number of players on the back who could give a yellow card. And also itself with our captain, with Robert, this I could make different decisions straight away from Andorra. But I understand that moment it was also key for that development of the team and develop of also other key players. They could not be always behind the absence of these players, because in the short term, these players, they will not be in the national team. And I thought it was a good moment. I realized it don't was. I realized I need to be much more focused on the present than to keep building up in the future. But I'm like that, and I accept my responsibilities. Like always, I made it, because I'm always a person and a coach, really, honest and frontal. Anytime you ask me things, I always like to try to get to the explanations, what it was behind my thoughts to make certain decisions. I always been, so direct to you guys about that. For that also, in the moment I realize I do mistakes as well, like I made it. I could handle much better that decision, but I made the decision because I have things behind that, the ones I explained to you. But I realized it was the best ones.
Okay, coach, because when I thought about Robert Lewandowski's situation, I mean, he played a whole game against poor, very weak Andorra. And he couldn't play against Hungary because he was tired. Well, coach, for me, it was illogical, really.
Jacek, but it was also, probably could be, I don't want to avoid this, your question. And I realize, like I'm always saying, the best players, they need to be always on the pitch, because it's part of the game and they need to be there. But it's illogical also when you yourself and your colleagues, they are saying why they play against Andorra, why he get injured. You remember also about that. For that, we need to have the right balance. And I'm always saying, and again, I don't want to be out of my decisions, because I accept and I realize I could handle much better. I realize I could do it differently, and it could be also the handling really different. But like I've been saying, also from the day one, you guys, they are really important. When I say you, it's about the part of the journalists, because they take an important part of all the process. For that, I'm talking about balance. And I understand the analysis of the game and the critics of the game. It's one thing about the tactical, strategically, about these decisions. And it's correctly to discuss these kind of things. And I'm not avoid these kind of things. We talk naturally, like I've been talking with you and to all our public.
So, coach,
we know, Jacek,
yes.
We know how you guys can manipulate the public opinion, because the public opinion mostly it take part of what you are saying and what the most you are writing about.
No, coach. No. I'm disagree, because people saw the situation. I mean, people saw that the Robert Lewandowski, the most valuable player, the captain of Polish national team, won't play against Hungary. Very important game, and people saw and knew that Robert was taking a part with the party, the private party, I don't know, maybe hours, maybe one day before the game. And coach, you have to agree that the Andorra, without one player, was a very, very poor opponent. And I think if you could back the time, you would made another decision, I hope. Really?
Yes. I told you already, and I would make another decision. I could manage better the minutes of Robert. But again, I think we need to put things in the different places. One thing is, you cannot associate a player, and it's not a question of Robert, but special. You talking and it's lots of noisy because it's Robert. It's the best in the world, and for that it's normally to make noises because a player it's not involved on the game. He can do it whatever he wants because it's a player and a person with lots of responsibility, and he knows how to handle and what he needs to be done. What it's true, I made it completely different. I could manage much better the game against Andorra, the meetings with Robert, but we cannot only thinking on Robert because but this is the truth, and it's not the first time I spoke, and I also been misunderstood when I'm saying once Robert it's different than the others because he make a real impact on the game and especially in our game. But again, and without to take my responsibilities, Jacek, I will do it differently, of course, but it was a good chance for all of us, to grow and to develop leadership and responsibility on the near future. But I was wrong, and
okay.
I understand that, and I do it completely different.
Okay, coach. The question is, what would you change? I mean, you put Lewandowski in the starting 11? If you have...
Of course. I think Robert, what it changed, he could change the minutes with Andorra to take back, but also against Andorra on the halftime with 11, we was with 2-1. Of course, with more or less difficulties in that moment. The team it was prepared to do it 45 minutes without Robert and to win the match and to get qualification and to get manage Robert with more 45 minutes or probably 50 or 60, depending how it was the game and depending about his levels of energy and how it was the muscle and joints and so on. For that we could do it completely different. But Robert, a player like him, he needs to start at all the games, of course.
So you would put Piotr Zieliński in the starting 11?
Again, with Zieliński, if you go through after the strong injury, he get it in the muscle. You don't allow to play the 3 games with the national team in the key moment. And we get the results, and nobody talk about Zieliński. You're talking about this moment, and Zieliński, of course, it's an important player for us. But regarding my colleague Spalletti, have been done also with him. It's managed minutes, and with 2 games, I spoke also with him to integrate and to be part of the game during the match, like it was. I thought I get him in. Later than it was done on the halftime, but unfortunately we was losing in the first half, practically only with 1 chance of Hungary and with the free kick. But we need to get used it. But like I said, it's behind the decisions. They have thoughts, and the thought with Zieliński, it's try also to manage to him, to get balance with the minutes you it's not completely done. It's a process because when you recover for an injury, you have also the competitions and you need to get regularity on the competitions. And sometimes some players, and we have some of them in the national team, they need to have more than 48 hours of recover completely for 1 match. Not him, but him specifically because he come from one big injury.
Okay, coach, one more thing, because I'm still thinking about it. During the press conference before a game against Hungary, I asked you when you made the decision to not involve Robert Lewandowski in this game. And you said during the journey from Andorra to Warsaw. Meanwhile, yes. Robert Lewandowski, I don't know, maybe yesterday, said that you and Robert met in Lisbon, and then before the game in Champions League, and then you spoke about this situation, and then you made the decision to not Robert Lewandowski play in this game after the winning against Andorra. Is it true?
You need to be a little bit, and I think you are a clever person, and you can be also clever, you know, to deliver the right message to all of us. You cannot make decisions before matches, and also because the match against Andorra home, it was easy, and I was criticized, you know, to get to have Robert full game unfortunately with the injury cost him 4 weeks or around 4 weeks out of the pitches. For that, we cannot, without to make sure we was qualified to the playoffs, we could not make decisions. For that, you have thoughts, you have things in mind, but the decisions they need to coming after, you know, to get qualified, and it was what happens.
Okay, so coach, do you realize that in March, when we are going to play in playoffs, that could be games for your future with Polish national team?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry,
okay. I try one more time. Do you realize that in March, when we are going play in playoffs? Yes. Do you realize that it could be for you the very important game? I mean, it could be the finish of your work with Polish national team. Could be.
It could be. I realize that this is clear. We cannot avoid these things, and I told you in the beginning. I'm probably from the beginning of this process. I need to be much more selfish, don't thinking about what is the future of the national team, because all my decisions they was thinking on that. But I keep thinking I'm a person and a coach of process, and what I made it today differently, but I has a reason behind that, and you know, I could think the importance of to be positive, believe in ourselves, because what we made it or what we show already, we could beat each opponent. Of course, playing home with most of our fans, really supportive noises and pushes, it makes the step easier because it push players to raise the best performance. But unfortunately, the last result, you don't give us the possibility to play home the first game. Hopefully, we can play the second because it's a draw. And it could happen, and hopefully with the draw we could have, you know, the chances to play against teams on the paper. They could be much more balanced with us.
Yes, you're right. It will be very important games for you and Polish national team also, because we want to qualify to World Cup in Qatar. I read the daily newspapers in Portuguese, and and they want to play against Poland because of you. You know what I mean?
No, what probably it's I don't read in that way. I read especially the ones that are involved on the game. They want to avoid Poland, because Poland it's one of the strongest teams. They could take it, but probably because we have a link. They could have that idea, but for what I read, mostly people from football, what they are writing, it's they want to avoid mainly Poland.
Really? Well, what team you would like to avoid, and which one is your favorite to play the first game in playoffs? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because it's always it's very difficult to anticipate what can happen during the match. But
Coach, I have to ask you about the opponents. I have to ask about the opponents. Your favorite opponents in first game in playoffs. Do you have any favorite team?
I would like to have Scotland away the first match and Sweden home.
Could be nice. Why not?
Why not? I think Sweden, because we need to pay back, and I could be extra motivation. I understand it's not an easy team to beat, and we could understand with the results always have been done. Scotland, because it's something like where it started to the football, how the noise. From spectators, in Scotland, the way they love also football and they approach football, it's fantastically. And I think it's a team we could really compete and to get the result for the second match.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for conversation. Well, you have to realize that in Poland we have a lot of humors after defeats against Hungary, because people didn't expect that we can lose this game, and we did it. I mean, the team did it, and the all circumstance and the all things around this situation, this game, well. It's still, for many people, are not understanding, really.
Jacek, for that, and to conclude again, because we are always on that, I will say two things. Hungary in the European against Portugal, France, and German, if you realize what results they made it, and also with England away. For that, it's not an easy team. It's a team he knows exactly what needs to be done, really experienced, with a coach who organized really well the team. And for that, it's not easy. And the second message I will pass also through you, and I pass it from the day one, and I will insist on that. I think national team need to be to have a positive energy, a positive environment around that. It's not means we need to avoid our main decisions, and we talk about that. I get my responsibilities in the decisions I made, but I have been really positive, with lots of belief we could achieve Qatar, and we will achieve the Qatar, but only with the support of all of us, because the team, like I said, we cannot be behind of Robert. We need to be together with Robert, and not criticizing one player when he is not playing like it was. We need to, and I accept the responsibility. It's not Robert, but mostly, Jacek, being positive, create a good environment with a good energy together, because only together we can achieve Qatar, not device. And sometimes I realize, people you would like to prefer to be part of the don't have success than to get success. And I think a country like Poland, who during these months, he have, I think, 103 years of independence. How he's struggling with many things on the past, more than ever, not only in football but in everything. Being together and be part of something really special, like to be in Qatar. It's important to be to have a good environment, to be a good energy, really positive around the team. And after that, after the playoffs, we can see if we achieve or we not achieve. I feel really confident we go to achieve because everybody on the team wants that, and for that it's something that will happen because we show already we can achieve it. And hopefully you guys, everybody could have the same frequency, with the same energy. This is what I would like and I would like to feel, because it's really important for all the boys.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach, once again.